world feels a bit off of balance. Life has a way of throwing us into situations we never quite feel prepared for. The pressures of work, the strains of relationships shifting, the unexpected moments that test our patience, our honesty, and our resilience. In this segment, we are stepping into the everyday chaos that shapes us, the choices we wrestle with, the boundaries we try to hold, and the small victories that keep us going. So let's take a look at the parts of life that challenge us and the parts that quietly teach us who we really are. All right, Lubby. So let's just kind of dive right in
All
tonight.
right. Here's a common issue lately: interviewing while employed and stressed about making excuses.
Uh, well, why are you making excuses? Is the question.
Well, he doesn't want them to know he's looking for another job, because then then they might fire him. He's afraid they might fire him.
Well, if you're good at your job, the old boss, the real thing, they might try to keep you, offer you a raise, better promotion, better title, parking spot, depending upon your, maybe they can't offer you much of a raise, but they can offer you better working conditions, better hours. That's assuming you're good at your job, right? So I wouldn't be afraid. You now have this thing called leverage. Let them know. Unless you're bad at your job, then yeah, you probably want to keep it on the down low. You're just trying to get out of there. You hate the place. And yeah. All right. Keep it on the down low until you're out. All right. But,
what are some good excuses? Your pet.
Go making one. Just, you need a day off.
Lots
of places have PTO. Call in sick that day. Yeah. Just call in sick. You've got the flu. And you call in sick. Schedule a couple interviews over a couple days and take a long weekend. That kind of thing. Schedule it. Or not. Doesn't matter. A lot of places has PTO now, so you don't really have to make an excuse. You just take the day off or the half a day off or whatever. So stop making excuses and just say you need the time off. And if it's a place where you need to make excuses, you probably don't want to work there anyway, which is why you're looking for another job. So, but don't rule out the possibility of it being leverage into getting you better working conditions in some form where you currently are.
Hey.
They may want to keep you.
Yeah.
And they don't know that you're, now you're forcing their hand. Hey, we're all for you. What are they offering you? We'll match it. Oh, you better hours? Sure, why not? We'll give you what time you want to start? 10? Yeah, sweet. You're leaving at 6:30, 7? Yeah, okay. That works for us. Depending upon the working.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My wife fell deep into conspiracy theories and online hate groups. Is there any saving our marriage? She's going through it. This doesn't mean that she's, totally into this forever.
Well, one, if you look at recent history, not all conspiracy theories turn out to be theories. Some of them turn out to have kernels of truth. When people try to fill gaps in kernels of truth, it's going to get a little weird at times. But there's kernels of truth in things. I won't dive into some of the stuff that's been released lately, but some things that were conspiracy theories had grains of truth in them. So, and one person's hate group is another person's freedom fighter.
I have to admit something. I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this where she's getting her news? Because I don't trust news.
No. Well, here's the thing. If something's main goal appears to be making you have an emotional reaction rather than simply telling you what happened, that's a good signal to turn it off. Because once they've got you thinking emotionally, they can get you thinking how they want. So if someone's just telling you the facts, it may make you have an emotional reaction, but they're not telling it in a way to entice that emotional reaction.
Mhm.
You're just having whatever your natural emotional reaction is being.
Mhm.
But if they started off with emotionally charged language,
Mhm.
then they're not just telling you the truth. They're painting the picture for you.
So he should talk to her.
Just offer her different perspectives. Right? Here's the thing. When someone is, especially on the early part of this journey, it's the more you try to kind of force another reaction, it's like you get equal and opposite reactions. So the harder you try to keep her
Mhm.
from it, the
Mhm.
harder she's gonna go down, because now it's feeding into the conspiracy theory. Now you've joined the conspiracy theory. And so essentially what you want to do is pat her on the head. That's nice, dear. And just go on about your day. As long as the rest of your life is all right, it's not that big of a deal. And let it run its course. These things, generally speaking, run their course. Most people reach a spot where they go, oh, this stops making sense. And then they
Mhm.
go back and question everything. They go, how was I so dumb? And it's because we're human and we get emotionally charged in things. And that emotion leaves us to wrong conclusions, or only examining half of a situation. It's very human.
Can I share something?
Sure.
So I'm on Facebook a lot. Believe it or not, that's where I get my news. And
Facebook's where I get my advertising.
that's where I get and keep in touch with the world. And hey man, it's really instantaneous. So but I was I subscribe to a couple of these so-called hate groups, you know, they're people pushing the truth in my mind, and
like I said, one person's hate group is another person's freedom fighter.
yeah, exactly. But I noticed I would be upset if I would take dives and I'd sit for 20 minutes and scroll,
Mm-hmm.
I was getting into thought loops.
Yeah.
My mood, what I was upset all day for like hours afterwards. So I do 2-minute scrolls. That's enough. I scroll pretty fast. That's enough. I can catch anything, any quick update. And then that's it. And quit reposting because I'm not going to change anybody's mind.
Yeah. Why bother?
But every once in a while there's a really good one, and then I'm like, I'm expressing myself.
Well, there's this guy I follow on YouTube, and I don't necessarily always agree with him, but he's the old Army, intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And so he says when he looked at some of these recent events, he says a third of the traffic was from bot farms or foreign actors. It wasn't even natural. It was inorganic reactions. So a third of what you're seeing on both sides, because they don't care. The same foreign actors playing both sides of the fence. Because the goal isn't they don't care about the event itself. They care about stirring up the discord. They care about causing, political fracturing. They don't care about the actual event itself. So they'll play both sides of the fence, feed disinformation to both sides, or highly one-sided information works better than disinformation specifically. You only tell a very narrow sliver of story that makes one side look good and the other side look terrible. Both sides do the same thing, and everybody's now upset and has their own complete version of
the event
that from that narrow perspective is true. It's kind of like that Obi-Wan Kenobi from a certain point of view. I was telling you the truth from a certain point of view. Well, yeah, from this point of view, but you got to open it up, and the truth is much murkier and and much more complicated, and you can still have the same emotional reaction while still going, yeah, but it's not that simple. It's not as simple as we all think it is, because life is rarely that simple. So part of my instinct is to let her go through it, because she's going to go through it one way or the other. Just don't necessarily participate in it. essentially do the teenager thing, pat them on their head as they go through their journey. 9 times out of 10, they come out the other side relatively quickly. Just hope you're not the 10th, like that 10th dentist. 9 out of 10 dentists say, who the freak is that 10th dentist?
I love your mind.
All right. So what's next?
Oh, drug screen coming. Help. Come clean. Weed. Interviewed for a place. They want to hire her, and they're like mentioned, oh, by the way, yeah, we need you to take a drug test.
Well, it's going to depend on where and what it's for, because not all places care about things. If you're in California, Colorado, these kind of things, and unless you're
They don't care.
unless you're doing heavy machinery or something,
Yeah,
they don't care. Yes, I suppose you can make the phone call. Again, this is going to depend where it is, but there are ways to defeat those drug screening tests. We've all had to do it back in the days.
Yeah.
At some time or another. So there's those options as well. I'm not going to
delve into those. You can go on Chat GPT and they'll tell you.
Well, yeah, probably not Chat GPT, but you can probably use Grok, or one of the less censored ones.
Okay.
To get answers to that, or just ask your friends. Most people ask your Gen X friends. I mean, I could tell you off camera. I just can't tell you now.
So send us a message at Late Night Love US.
Yeah. Send us that's the thing. Send us a message. We'll send it back. There's a handful of ways. In some ways, it's harder now than it is before, because they can test for the things that test. Like we used to have a golden seal or something back in the day. It doesn't work anymore. As if it only worked half the time before anyway, but now they can test for things like that. So now, do they test for things like that? Probably not for weed anymore. They're looking for harder drugs. And
yeah.
Oftentimes these drug screens, they're just so they can check some box on the IRS form so they can get some tax break. Drug-free America stuff back from the 80s that's still in the tax code.
Stop it.
I'm telling you. That's why they do it. Is to check some checkbox. How much do they actually care? You're going to have to kind of figure out. Like in California and places, businesses don't care. They couldn't be able to hire anybody. Colorado is the same way. Those places who've been legal marijuana for a long time, half your workforce is stoned. So it's what are you going to do? Now, if you're operating heavy machinery and things like that, different standards apply. But somehow half of them are stoned or high half the time. So there's ways around it. So there's my answer to that. Okay.
What's one work habit that actually made your job easier? And what I would do at the end of the day, I would take 5 minutes at the end of my workday and make I'd review my calendar, and I would write down the main tasks that I absolutely had to get for the next day and that I was going to tackle. And that really made a lot less stress for me in the morning, getting ready for work, worried about the day. Nope, I don't have to worry what I need to do because I already got it written down at work. All I have to do is focus on getting to work safely,
Okay, well, it depends. Back when I worked on an assembly line, one thing we learned, or warehouses, is do one thing that makes the next guy's job easier, and next thing you know, everybody's job is easier. So that actually works when you're part of a team. You do something to make the next guy's job easier, and if everybody's doing that, magically everybody has an easier job. More recently is my email gets read by my AI agent, and it goes through my emails and tells me what I've missed, what I haven't.
Stop it.
What's important, what isn't. It's not always correct. So you have to kind of know what's in your email box, but I can sit there and have it go through my email box, tell me what's important for the day. And it's pretty good at going going through my email box telling me what's pretty good for the day. It's a little scary, but I'm Gen X. I'm flexible. What do I care if the machine eats me? Yeah, it'll happen.
Matrix.
Yeah, what is it, Tron? I'll get sucked into the Matrix. What do I care?
Tron.
It's all good. Speaking of all good, though, there is one thing we forgot to do. We forgot to let you know that you can send us your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to love@latenightLove.us. You can find us on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. But you can also find us on KUBU 965 on Live 365. We also have an app now, by the way, on that.
Ooh.
So you can go download that app. I'll find a thing, and next week we'll put a QR code or something, or a link in something. We'll figure that out.
Nice.
I'll stop being lazy, maybe. I'm not lazy. I'm just busy. Oh, nothing's going to happen this week. I'm going to LA next week. All right, which means we might not have a show next week. Depends when I get back.
Okay. We might not have a show, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be driving back from LA next Sunday.
Are you driving alone?
No, Summer and Anthony are coming with me.
Good.
Me and Summer are swapping driving. We're sharing driving.
Good.
Okay. What's next?
Okay, where are we? Oh, yeah. Oh, this one. I accidentally had a baby in my friend's car. Now her husband and she won't speak to me. How do I fix this? She offered to have the car detailed cleaned.
There's nothing she can do. Just her friends are being unreasonable. These things happen. If you can't deal with it and these things happening in life, you probably shouldn't be going through life. I hope her friend and husband don't have kids, or when they do, I hope they have, red Kool-Aid incidents. I guess it was red Gatorade. Just don't feed Anthony anything red is all we learned if we're going on a road trip.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's something about red. You could feed him any other color. It was something about maybe the red dye they were using.
Yeah.
It didn't sit with. He gets motion sickness, right? But it seemed like only the red ones triggered the unstoppable response.
Okay, what's disturbing is this. You actually probably had to do this several times.
Yeah.
Before it finally hit. This is red. Every time.
Yeah. Let's stop with the red.
So what's that? 3?
Maybe more. It's hard to know. We had to go to Fresno a lot. So it's hard to know. Her friends are being unreasonable, quite frankly. There's nothing for her to fix. Her friend's just going to have to get over it. It's kind of my feeling.
What kind of friends are they? I'd be showing the car off. Look what happened in here.
Yeah, but you're a little different, so that's not necessarily a good barometer.
I'd insist they name the child after the car, Mazda.
I mean, now for me, I don't know. I probably wouldn't take their money detailing the car. Hey, it's your baby's gift. There you go. It's your first gift.
There you go.
But I don't understand how they can be upset. So they're just being.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would have some insight.
No, I can get how they could be personally upset about it at home, but you would never say anything or do anything about it. And the offer to pay for it, even if you're
not like she decided, where do I want to have my baby?
Now, did she have the whole baby thing, or is she in the car? The water broke, and so
she was in the car. The water broke. Baby just boom.
Oh, so she had one of them rapid labor things.
Yes, she did.
Oh well, hell, there's nothing to. You can't help that. Nature's nature, man.
She didn't know she was in labor. She felt a little different, she said, but she didn't know she was in labor.
Some women, man, what is it with some of these? Some women pop them out like popping a bake up thing out of an oven. Others have 3 days of labor. What the hell?
Like making a turkey.
Good Lord. I don't. Anyway,
we don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think her friends are being unreasonable, and I don't think there's anything for her to fix.
Yeah,
I think she's
I
already,
know.
I think she's done her part, and
We're sorry you lost a friend.
Yeah.
That wasn't your fault.
and
You didn't do anything wrong.
and here's the thing: it could be timing, could be coincidence. They may be busy. They may have other things to do, and just haven't gotten back to you yet. Lives can get like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
somebody's grandmother died the day after, right? And now they're dealing with that, and that's now more important.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
it's strange things happen. So, but short of that,
Now, if you were my mother, you'd send a letter.
well, okay, but I don't know if I just don't think it's worth the effort. They'll come back when they're ready.
She wants closure.
Yeah,
I think she's not going to get it.
closure's a myth. All you have to do is close your own door. All right,
How do you deal with a wannabe manager at work?
you ignore them. That's nice, Bob. See you later, Sally. Just do your thing. I mean, if they're really annoying, I suppose you can put them in their place. You're gonna do no good. I mean, suppose you could mention to probably you both have the same boss, I'm assuming. And she just thinks she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell, can you get Sally to shut the hell up? I said, Bob to back off or whatever it is. You could go that route, but I just ignore him. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the emotional energy. Yeah. Lions don't worry about what hyenas are doing. Just swat them away when they're, yeah. Don't waste the energy. That's my suggestion.
I don't know what else you can do.
Well, again, you go back to the every action has an equal and opposite reaction theory, and so the more reaction you have, the more reaction they're going to have, and you're going to create this goofy ass power struggle. So the way you de-escalate all that is to give it exactly the power it has. Absolutely nothing. Right? And if it's really annoying and it's bothering you that much that you can't ignore it, you go to your boss and say, they're being annoying. Can you tell them to leave me the hell alone?
Yeah.
And you just leave it that. Don't make a huge deal out of it. Just you don't want to. Don't create. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So don't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You get to break physics. Cool. Okay, what's last?
Last one. How do you deal with coworkers you don't trust? Where how your tasks overlap and stuff. You rely on them for their part so you can do your job,
Unfortunately, you just learn to double check their work because
it makes more work for you. It does. We're sorry.
Well, actually, no, but double checking the work now makes less work for you in the long run.
It does.
So,
True.
So you double check their work. And, I suppose if you really wanted to be annoying about it, it's, when you send in your corrections or whatever, you make sure everybody know that these were the corrections you had to make. You don't do it if there's one correction every now and again. That's fine. Everybody has.
Yeah.
Everybody does that. But if you have
if a lot.
Yeah, if there's a lot of holes or a lot of gaps,
Mm-hmm.
then you document those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yes, so the real question is how do you deal with coworkers whose work you don't trust, and then you just don't trust it. You double check it because you've got no other choice. Should you have to? Probably not, but life's like that, homies. It just is. And you should be double checking it anyway because you hope somebody else is checking your work.
Yeah.
Because that's how you keep mistakes from being shipped. which is something that, the software industry could learn about right now. It's having people double check their work.
Yeah.
So just saying. All right. So life doesn't always give us clean edges or easy choices, but the fact that you are trying, that you're asking the right questions means you've already doing the work. So let's take a breath together. We restore, step into the next chapter. For me and Lubby, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Good night.